So, John, what's the worst train journey you've ever been on?
So a couple of years ago, actually a few years ago.
Should I have popcorn for this?
It's a tale, it's a yarn, yeah, get comfy. So a few years ago, I was on a night out in Manchester for Manchester Pride with my friend Sebastian, who you may know from the Room episode. And we had our one and only falling out of our entire 12-year friendship, I think. He was supposed to be coming back to stay here in Leeds with me, and then he decided, because we'd had this falling out, he decided I think he pulled or something, he decided to go somewhere else. And I got really pissed off, and I was really, really drunk. Top 5 most drunk I've been in my life. And so I had this big argument, and then I kind of stormed off to catch the last train home. Did a very dramatic, well, screw you, I'm leaving. And I just turn around and storm off kind of thing.
Okay.
This is in like a club. And then had to come back, tail between my legs 2 minutes later and be like, you've got my keys. So that was bad enough. And then I got the last train from Manchester to Leeds. And I was on the train. About halfway through the journey, I realised I was so drunk I needed to vomit right now. So I ran to the toilet cubicle on the train, which is always a great place to throw up. And as I was, when you projectile vomiting so much that you literally cannot leave the toilet bowl, it's an impossibility. As I was there, I heard the train announcer go, "We are now arriving at Leeds." I was like, no! So, minutes later, as I was still projectile vomiting and completely unable to get off the train without spraying everyone around me, I heard, "We are now leaving Leeds."
Oh, God.
And I ended up stranded in York, which was the next and final stop, for about 4 hours, very, very slowly and very painfully sobering up, because there's nothing to do in York after 1 a.m. and there were no trains until the following morning. So it was a horrible train journey and a horrible night in general.
Oh, great.
What about you?
Me? See, I don't know if I've got one standout one. Leeds to Manchester is always a bad shout.
Just because it's
Never,
packed?
Yeah, I've never had a good time on that train.
No.
Anybody else listening around the world, please let us know your worst train journeys, but Leeds to Manchester tops them all.
Yeah, this is really going to play well in America and Australia. So I don't know if you heard about the East Coast Express, but oh boy.
Some films are fine just the way they are. Other films sometimes take it way too far. But really, how bad could it get? Let's go beyond the box set.
Welcome everybody to Beyond the Box Set, a podcast where we pitch prequels, sequels and spin-offs to films that don't have any. I'm Harry, and joining me as always is John.
Hello.
And this week, John, it was your choice. We did Snowpiercer.
I did.
For once, it's one of our weeks without a guest.
I know, it feels weird. I'm also only sharing one mic. This feels very intimate.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, laptop problems.
Well,
My laptop problems. And your laptop.
your laptop problem, as in you forgot to bring your charger and couldn't be asked to cycle home to get it.
True, and your laptop only has one working USB.
True, but fixing my problem would involve spending about £1,500. Fixing your problem would involve getting off your lazy arse and going and getting your charger.
Well, on my bike ride here, I nearly get hit by 3 cars. So now,
3?
Yes, so now what do you want me to do?
Let's continue.
I win. So what are we talking about? Oh yeah, the film.
Yeah, the film, yes. Snowpiercer. So, yeah, I hadn't seen this film.
No, me neither. So why did you choose it?
I chose this because you've been mentioning a lot recently how much you love a disaster movie. And this is, I guess, qualifies as a disaster movie?
I'd say post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic, does that still fit into your general films I enjoy genre?
Well, I enjoyed the film.
Oh, that's good. I thought it'd be good. Yeah, I thought this might be fun for you.
I don't know if I call it a disaster movie. It's an action movie, but it's not like cities falling into the sea or anything.
True. It's just trains skidding perilously over ice. Yeah, but it's post-apocalyptic, and I've been meaning to watch this film for a while because I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard it's really interesting and quirky, and in some places quite ridiculous, which is all things I enjoy.
Quirky and ridiculous are two, strong words for this film.
Definitely. And so I just thought, it's been on the list for a while, and I thought, well, why not? So let's put it out there. So what did you think of it?
Certainly went in some bold directions.
It certainly did.
Do you want to start with Tilda Swinton?
Oh, we could talk this whole podcast about Tilda Swinton. Tilda made some choices in this movie.
Didn't she just?
Oh my god. Yeah, is this our first Tilda Swinton movie?
I believe it is, actually, yeah.
I can't believe we went a whole year without doing a Tilda Swinton movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tilda Swinton, not the star of this movie,
No?
but she has a very striking supporting turn.
Yes. She is... In this film, she's the only character who particularly stands out.
You think so?
If it wasn't for her, this film wouldn't be bonkers.
Oh, I think it would. It would be less bonkers, it'd still be bonkers.
Okay, what's bonkers about this film that's not involved with Tilda Swinton?
The entire scene on the school carriage with the song.
I suppose it is a little bit weird, yeah.
What happens if the train slows down? We all fucking die. That is no Tilda, and that is utterly bonkers.
Okay, yeah.
What happens if the engine stops? We all freeze and die. But will it stop or will it stop? No, no! Can you tell us why? The engine is eternal, yes. The engine is forever, yes. Rumble, rumble, rattle, rattle. Who is the reason why? We've learned young.
Also, I would say, I mean, we're going to run through the whole plot here, but when they're fighting with the different carriages, there's lots of ridiculous things. There's like the rave carriage and the weird sauna carriage and the
True.
sushi bar, the aquarium.
Some of it felt very sort of Fifth Element to me.
Definitely. Very, had that very heightened quality, I'd agree, yeah. Well, to just very quickly summarise the plot. So, this film came out about 5 years ago, I think.
I think so, yeah.
It stars Chris Evans and Tilda Swinton and Octavia Spencer and John Hurt and Jamie Bell. Good cast. Good, strong, diverse cast. And
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris is in it too. And the basic plot is it takes place sometime in the near future in which I believe the government, some government, has spread the entire planet with some kind of chemical to combat global warming. What did they say?
Yes, it was to combat global warming, try and cool down the planet, but by accident they cooled down the planet too much,
Yeah.
which one person, Ed Harris, saw coming. Ed Harris is essentially Richard Branson
Yes. He really-
slash Elon Musk.
Yes.
Just one of those guys, really. He has a company which has built this train that can run by itself without any external fuel. Well, actually, it doesn't specify. I was assuming solar power, but whatever. It's a train that can run forever.
Yes, it's basically the entire world is frozen solid, become an Arctic wasteland, and as far as we know, the only survivors of humanity are on this very long train that is basically circumnavigating the globe constantly.
Yes, it's on a loop somewhere. I don't know where this loop is. It doesn't specify if it's
Yeah.
in every country or if it's just all around America or something. Who knows? But it does that loop once a year,
Yes.
I guess, without stopping, which must be incredibly well timed.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think I assumed it was circumnavigating the globe. But now that I think about it, how would you go overland across the globe?
Well, it's all,
Unless
it's all frozen over, maybe. So
frozen over and they built train tracks on it, though.
exactly, yes. So they could build train tracks from here to Greenland, for example.
Okay, sure. So you're assuming that the apocalyptic climate change happens rapidly enough that everyone died, but slowly enough that they could build train tracks.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But
It's-
that's not to say that it's going round the equator. Like, it could
Sure.
be just going round Russia and Asia and everywhere around there, and then going over the North Pole to America and all around there.
Maybe, yeah. Well, anyway, it's going around in some kind of circle, is the point. And on the train, it's very much a class system, so...
As all trains are.
Yeah, this is basically an allegory for first class, yeah. It's so all of the ruling classes are at the head of the train, and they live a life of apparent luxury, and then at the bottom of the train, you have the slaves who are living this very impoverished kind of existence, and they just serve the upper classes, basically. One of these is Chris...
Seemingly without knowing it.
Yeah, it's never clear what they know. It's a bit strange, but I like that. Anyway, Chris Evans emerges as kind of the de facto leader of the group. He kind of leads a rebellion against the upper classes, the ruling classes, to kind of get to the head of the train to confront the mythical Wilfred, who nobody's seen.
Apart from William Hurt.
Apart from William Hurt, who does know of him, yes.
Yeah.
William Hurt plays another of the lower class people who's kind of the old sage kind of role. So yeah, Chris Evans and Jamie Bell lead a rebellion, and Octavia Spencer, and they fight their way from the end of the train to the front of the train and encounter lots of quirky characters and situations on the way, including Tilda Swinton, who plays the Minister Mason, who's kind of the Wilfred spokesperson. And yeah, and they fight their way to the end of the train where some things happen that we'll talk about later. And that's kind of the plot.
Yeah, so... To go back to Tilda Swinton,
Sure, yeah.
was there any reason why her accent was what it was?
What do you think she was trying to do?
Was she trying to just be, like, Wallace?
As in Wallace and Clark. I was getting Michael Caine in drag as Deirdre from Coronation Street.
All right, sure.
That was the vibe I was getting. She's wearing like these crazy little Michael Caine glasses and big fur coats and these kind of high neckline trench coat kind of things. It was a look. And the wig. She definitely wins this week's Wig Watch. She was wearing one amazing wig. It was like a helmet. I loved it.
Passengers, this is not a shoe. This is disorder. This is size 10 chaos. See this? This is death.
This is what I like about Tilda, because Tilda always makes choices when she performs. And she was really making some choices. She really created a really interesting character. And apparently the character was originally in the director's script. It was scripted as a soft-spoken man. That was who it was supposed to be. And then Tilda Swinton got to know that...
Did the opposite.
Went in a totally different direction, yeah. But apparently she really liked the director from other things he'd done. The director is Bong Joon-ho, I think. He's a Korean director.
Okay.
So she got to know him and said, I really want to work with you. And he said, oh, well, there's nothing in this for you, but let's stay in touch. And then he thought about it and he got back to her and said, you know what, actually, how would you feel about playing this character? And she just got complete creative freedom with it and created this crazy, insane, kind of evil character who was brilliant. She was easily my favourite character. Easily.
Well, she was the standout character. Like nobody else was particularly interesting. Like the school teacher a little bit, Ed Harris because I like a bad guy.
Yeah.
But other than that, nobody was interesting at all.
Yeah, I guess there wasn't a lot of characterization involved.
There wasn't really.
It was an action film through and through.
Yeah.
But you did like it, so tell me some of the things you liked about it apart from Tilda.
I love the exposition we got at the end, where they just explained everything that had happened and how it all started with people coming on and then everybody starving and how dark that story got.
I'm sorry, I laughed.
What?
I'm a bad person. I lauged so
I
much.
hate myself because I know that babies taste better.
Yes, I thought that line was hilarious. I'm sorry.
It was pretty dark. I did then like the story of, like, I tried to eat this baby. This is weird. I tried to eat this baby, but I was stopped by a guy who cut off his arm. The guy was this character that you know. The baby was this character that you know.
Yeah.
I did like that.
Yeah, it's
It's a good bit of storytelling.
And I just imagined the scene. Like, I just imagine Chris Evans, like holding a baby up to his mouth, like, and then some other guy like, no, and just sawing his off, and then blood going everywhere, and then, oh my god, this is terrible. Spare the child, take my arm.
Yeah, it would have been good.
You know what I hate about myself? I know what people taste like. I know that babies taste best. There was a woman. She was hiding with her baby. And some men with knives came. They killed her and they took her baby. And then an old man, no relation, just an old man stepped forward and he said, "Give me the knife." And everyone thought he'd killed the baby himself. But he took the knife and he cut off his arm. And he said, "Eat this. You're so hungry. Eat this. Just leave the baby." I had never seen anything like that.
This is the kind of action / sci-fi film that I can really get on board with because it doesn't waste a lot of time on exposition or character development or anything. It just kind of puts you in a situation and it explains it at the beginning at least. There's exposition at the end, but the beginning is a lot of like, okay, they're on a train, they're the lower class, the upper class is up the other end, you haven't seen them yet, but they're coming later. They're going to rebel, obviously. Let's watch what happens. And I enjoyed that. It went straight in there. The pacing was great. There were no boring bits particularly for me. It really got straight into it and established the stakes very easily. And then it just took it to some really interesting places. Like, I thought the visualizations, the images on the screen were really, really good. I really liked the fighting through the different carriages kind of vibe.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
I liked that just travelling through different carriages and each one being like a different world.
It was. I'm going to get to this. It did feel a lot like a video game.
I was going to say it felt like Mario.
Yeah, it felt like they were like, each one was a level.
Yeah.
Just fighting to the next level. So, and now
But,
we're in the
like,
aquarium zone.
That's not to say that it was bad. And
No,
it's-
that's not bad
And
at all.
it's not the only film to do that. It felt a lot like Judge Dredd. Don't know if you've seen that, but he's got to fight his way to the top of an apartment block to kill Lena Headey.
Sure.
And each floor has its different challenges. And it very much is just like a video game.
Yeah.
But it works so well.
Yeah.
And this film does the same really well.
I would say that the dimensions of the train puzzle me a little bit.
What dimensions?
Like, some carriages seem like they'd be way bigger than others. Like, the aquarium one looked huge. How does that even work?
It didn't exactly show that the fish had a lot of space to swim in.
True, they could have just been really flattened.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not...
Like there were no big fish there other than like, what's it called? That really flat fish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's the only one that they kept because reasons, spatial reasons.
Yeah.
This isn't the kind of film that I'm inclined to pick holes in with that kind of thing, though, because it is... I appreciate films that are just like, hey, this is what's happening. Get on board or don't. It's up to you. Enjoy it or don't.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that. But yeah, there were certain moments... If you think about this film too hard, it all falls apart because it doesn't really make any sense.
Oh yeah, there's so many. Like, the whole film could have ended if they'd actually put bullets in those guns.
Yeah.
Because turns out they had bullets as a nice little twist.
Yes.
But just like put one or two in those guns, and then that's it. Revolution over.
And just be like, yeah, don't shoot them, but if you need to, it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the main moments in this film, is where the lower class people realise that the guards' guns don't have bullets in them, so they assume that the bullets have actually run out, and so that means they could have their uprising. And yeah, but at the end there's a twist where you realise actually there's lots of bullets and there's a big old shootout.
What do you think of that bit? The bad guys are in the classroom.
Sure.
And then, for some reason, this train just takes essentially an endless bend
Yes.
that goes on for about 5 minutes, and they have a shootout. Do you not find that a bit strange?
Do you mean when they're shooting through the windows at each other because the train is...
Yeah, like they're not even shooting with like snipers or anything. They're just using well, not the smallest guns, but just regular guns.
Yeah.
And they're shooting through this glass that's like 10 inches thick or something, and then across like a mile of space between them, and every shot is hitting. And also, who's repairing that glass?
Oh yeah.
Where are they getting a new window from?
That's going to get cold real quick.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. If you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. But because
And also, where did those school kids go?
where did they go?
Like, a fight in the classroom started before the kids had left.
Yeah.
Didn't see the kids leave anywhere. Then just hiding under their desks and people having a shootout.
No, exactly. You never see them again. And presumably they die when the whole train blows up at the end. But, yeah.
Well, I guess everyone does.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that was definitely one of those things where, like, you know what, this is going to be a really cool visual shot. I thought it was a cool idea of a train that was curving in on itself, and so they were shooting through the windows. It's a pretty cool action sequence. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. What was your favourite carriage then, would you say?
Might be the rave carriage.
The rave carriage was fun, yeah.
Either that or the drugs carriage. Where just everybody's high, nobody really knows what's going on. And it also just makes me question, what do people do with their lives?
Yeah.
Like anybody, even the people in second class, because they're just trying to survive. But when they're not just trying to survive because they've got food coming in, they've got water coming in, they're not dying now. What do they do? What do they do to pass the time? Do they do this? Do they record podcasts like this? Like,
Traincast episode 478. Yeah.
what do they talk about? What's going on in their lives?
Because they don't seem like they're slaves particularly. They're not doing hard labour that we see.
No.
The only thing they seem to be there for is to be breeders. Because we found out later that the children are being used to work underneath the train. But actually, apart from that, there's not really a lot for them to be doing. Which is odd, yeah.
Yeah, but also the first class people, what do they do?
Oh, they're not doing anything. They're just chilling.
Yeah, but like even if you've got every luxury in the world, you'd get bored after 14 years.
Oh, sure. Well, that's the thing about being like a video game and like, being all about the visuals. Because do you think people move from carriage to carriage generally? It seemed like every carriage was quite self-contained. Do you think the druggies ever like wander into the rave one and be like, hey guys, what's up in this carriage?
True, yeah, maybe they're all just individual communities where there's some overlap but not a lot.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't see enough of like everybody's living quarters and stuff. It was just all entertainment.
Yeah, that's true. There was
Every carriage was just things to do, but that's probably because it's boring for us film viewers to see, hey, look, bedrooms. To be fair, they did point it out at one point, just like, hey, there's all these beds here.
Yeah.
But they were still like all bunk beds and dormitories. Which I feel is still a bit much for first class.
In the classroom scenes, I was like, where are the parents? Which carriage contains the parents? I thought the dialogue was often very strange.
Okay.
I just thought it was very obvious sometimes that the director's English wasn't his first language. Because he wrote the script as well. They were just, I don't know, just the tone and the cadence of it sometimes. Some of the lines are just a bit odd. But like you know what I hate the fact that I know what babies taste like. It's not a line that comes naturally.
Well, it's just not a topic that comes naturally.
Well, true. There's that too. As a vegetarian, anyway, so you'd have to be pretty hungry to eat meat. How hungry do you think you'd have to be eat a baby?
Why would I answer that question?
Because it makes you uncomfortable. I love asking it.
Yeah, but like, I can't be a good guy if I answer that question. Like, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
If I were to just tell you like that, then like I clearly thought about it, and it's just not a thing that you think about. And
so 2 weeks.
2 weeks, because by that time I think I'll probably be dead anyway. So there we go.
You can live. I think you'd probably be on the brink. Yeah. I mean, I'm saying it's between death and eating a baby. Just slap it between a bit of bread. Pass me that baby.
All right. What's your catchphrase for the week?
Pass me that baby.
You know what I hate about myself? I know what people taste like. I know that babies taste best.
Speaking of which, so at the end of the film, Chris Evans, who now I know what he looks like. I think I finally got him in my brain.
I don't believe this. Are you still just thinking of the radio DJ?
No, I'm not. That was never the issue. It wasn't that I couldn't separate the two. It was just I just found him really forgettable. I mean, I've not really seen the Captain America movies, so that's his most famous franchise. So I've only seen him in bit parts, and he was in Sunshine, but I don't know. I just forgot about him. But no, I think I get it now. I know what he looks like, and he was good in this. I will say.
Yeah, he was.
He had to like censor the film. He wasn't one of the funny, quirky characters. He was like the the moral center. Like
Yeah, he was
hero.
very normal.
Yeah, he was like our everyman character, and he didn't have a lot of dialogue or a lot to do, but I think he did it well. I believed him, which was good. So he gets to the end and he confronts Ed Harris, who is revealed to be Wilfred, this kind of godlike figure who is running the train from his secluded little captain's quarters. And there's a very long scene between the two of them where Wilfred, Ed Harris, is just kind of cutting into a steak and eating the steak. Did you think that steak was baby? Was going to turn out to be baby?
No,
I was really waiting for that to be the reveal.
didn't think about it, but I did think, where did that steak come from?
Yeah. There's no cows. There's either baby or cockroach. There's no middle ground.
We know it's not cockroach.
No,
They're not
true.
eating cockroach.
I also think you may be eating a baby.
Did you find it a little bit weird that Chris Evans found out that they were all eating cockroaches and was sickened by the whole thing, and then later revealed that the last thing he ate before that was babies?
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, mate. Like, cockroaches, no, I mean, probably not tasty, but not too bad. And just seeing that it's cockroaches surely shouldn't sicken you that much.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
Also, people eat insects.
Yeah.
Like, people in our world right now are eating insects.
No, I 100% agree. You're right. I think eating a baby would surely desensitize you to eating cockroaches.
Yeah.
It could have been so much grosser than that. Like,
It could have been shit from the first class people.
yeah, exactly. That would have been a really good, like, well, a bit heavy-handed, but, you know, a metaphor, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree. It seemed odd. It seemed a little bit odd because, yeah, I felt for the exact same thing. People do eat cockroaches in the real world. And then the whole film is like this running thing where he forces Tilda Swinton's character to eat the protein bar, and she just couldn't even conceive of it. And fair enough, the upper class people probably don't eat cockroach.
Yeah, I mean, like, would you?
I think...
Especially if it's like a black sort of jelly bar.
No, it wouldn't be my first choice, but I think I could eat insect, you know, if push came to shove.
Yeah, could eat insects, but if this insect that's built in sort of this rubbery, floppy, slimy black bar, could you nibble on that?
I mean, I've just admitted I'd be pretty okay with eating a baby, so yeah.
Sure, all right.
I know I could eat cockroach.
You've got some bad standards.
McDonald's, baby, cockroach.
Now, you eat this. You know what that's made of? Dig in.
Okay, so should we skip to the end?
Yes, let's talk about the end a bit more, yeah.
So, what is it that Ed Harris is saying? He's saying that there's a balance that needs to happen, like people need to die, children need to die, or else they're going to run out of food and then you have to eat them.
Yeah, it's an ecosystem situation.
Yeah. And then Chris Evans is just like, oh, well, I guess that really sort of opens my mind to everything, and I guess I'm on your side.
Yeah, for
Sort
a
of
moment,
thing.
yeah. He flirts with the dark side for a moment, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, he doesn't do anything afterwards.
No, well,
He just sort of stands there when everything blows up.
well, I got the sense that when he sees the children underneath the train, he realises that, no, actually, this can't continue. That was what I got from it, but...
Yeah. But, like, there's no thought that goes into it after that. I mean, I guess nobody really knows that they're all about to die at this point. Like, they're trying to blow the door up so they can get out of the train. But they really should think about, okay, where are we?
Yeah.
Because if at this point they happen to be at a very north part of the planet, then maybe that's not the best time to leave the train. Given you expect it to be extremely cold. You've seen the snows melting,
Yeah.
but maybe that's not where they are right now.
True. I
So
mean,
just wait until they're in, I don't know, snowy Mexico or something.
snowy Mexico. Going loco down at Acapulco.
You know, and then get off there.
Yeah.
And perhaps find a way to stop the train rather than blowing a hole out of it so you've got to jump out of it at 200 miles an hour.
Sure. Just keep sticking people's hands out until one doesn't drop off.
Yeah. Because also, what was their plan at that point? To blow a hole in the train, but it's a very, very high-speed train.
Yeah.
Then what were they going to do?
Jump out. Soft landing in the snow. Reconvene. I don't know.
Actually, no, they did. They did establish people had got out of the train before,
Yes, but died.
but died because of the cold.
Yes.
So, okay, that's fair enough. The bit where they blow the door off and an avalanche comes and knocks the train off the rails.
Yes.
Apart from the front part of the train, which crashes through the tunnel, and everybody dies apart from the female Korean lady and Octavia
Spencer's son.
Yeah. So there's now just two people left in the planet,
So we shoot at a polar bear.
out in the cold,
Yeah.
probably going to die. But if they don't, well, those two are going to have to repopulate the planet at some point.
Yes. And that's going to take some time.
All right.
I guess
Just so I know where we stand.
Yeah,
Because
no,
the whole end of the film just sort of came quite suddenly, and I was just like, "Oh right, it's over. That's it, done."
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, I guess the polar bear represents hope.
Yeah.
You know,
I guess.
survival, maybe. Maybe there's other survivors if a polar bear can survive other people. Maybe they decided that, you know, what price humanity. Maybe it's just like, life isn't worth living if this is what we're reduced to, so let's just try it out in the wilderness. And
And
if we
also,
die,
like,
we die.
They not deliberately, but they did murder everybody on the train. Literally everybody.
Indeed, a lot of children, who
Yeah.
we've already met, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of other second-class citizens who are hoping that Chris Evans was going to save them.
True.
But in the end, not him, but his gang end up killing them.
Yeah. Great mission, guys. I really liked one of my favourite moments of the film was at the moment when the train is about to explode.
Mm-hmm.
And Ed Harris gets the last line in the entire film of anyone. He just goes, nice.
Yeah. That's weird, wasn't it?
Nice.
What a weird ending to a film.
It was so odd, but I liked it. Like, none of this makes sense, but none of it was like, oh, I hate this. It was like, oh, this is such a weird film. I kind of love it. Yeah, it was wacky. I like that about it. It was very, very strange. And yeah, it didn't really answer any questions. That's particularly about like the polar bear and stuff. 'Cause
There's just so many things that are going to kill them out there now.
I don't think
For
they're
one,
gonna stop.
the cold.
Yes.
For two, lack of food because you're in the snowy tundra. Mm-hmm. And then polar bears
Yeah.
and maybe other animals that are probably out to kill you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, rabbits are probably dead.
Yeah,
Things like polar bears more likely to be alive.
true. Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of friendly animals left. Yeah. Should we get to some drinking games, maybe?
Oh, sure, let's do it. Sorry, I was getting a bit distracted just by complaining. Okay, so my first one is drink whenever they change carriage.
Okay, yeah, that'd be a good one. We've seen transitions.
We would have talked about quite a bit, but yeah.
Yeah. So mine, I've also mentioned, is a drink for long CGI shots of the train.
Oh, yeah, there were
There's
quite a
lots
few of them.
yeah, which did look even more like video game cutscenes. Like,
Yes, they did. I did especially enjoy the ones where the train would burst through a block of ice or
yes,
something.
that's fun.
That was good. Drink whenever any main character dies unnecessarily.
And yeah, again, we've had the same one. I put down unceremoniously. Like, 'cause a lot of the main characters die quite quickly and then they're just dead, and it's, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, Octavia Spencer kind of gets a somewhat moving death scene, because, like, Chris Evans basically, like, kneels down and says, I promise I'll find your son, and she says, thank you. And it kind of pans on her face as she kind of slowly passes away. But other than that, everyone dies like that, like, really quickly. John Hurt just gets shot on camera.
Tilda Swinton, same.
So Tilda Swinton, same, yeah. Jamie Bell gets his throat cut. And yeah, they all die really, really quickly. And even Chris Evans and the Korean guy, they just get blown up.
Yeah.
You don't really see it. And that's it. Yeah.
Apart from Ed Harris, who just went, nice.
Yes. Yeah, he's the only one who got a cool death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I agree. Lots of...
It's weird. It feels like a lot of characters that just didn't really know how to finish the character story, apart from Octavia Spencer
Yeah.
and Ed Harris.
I guess she was, because she's a mother, she was the only character who had kind of any emotional, even though she didn't get a lot to say or do, just because you could identify, okay, she's a mum, that's her thing. Whereas everyone else, as you said, was quite thinly drawn. So it wasn't like, oh no, not the Korean guy, because, like, he's fine, but he's not really won your heart, you know what I mean?
No.
So, yeah. Drink when everything stops, just so something really weird can happen.
Such as?
Just every now and again, usually when they entered a new carriage, like, the action would just stop for a second. So, like, for example, the enemies could very slowly and deliberately cut open a fish and put the blood on the sword. Or stop so that everything can go black for a moment and Tilda Swinton can just shout for a minute, and it's all like, then it becomes like Doom, like, you know, with the green. Or what else happens? Or when it stops because there's a guy, like a giant man, who's just swinging a big axe around. Like, that was when I was like, this is a video game. He's just the troll on the bridge. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, there were a few
just
scenes like that.
Yeah.
Officer Bojo! What are you doing? Don't look at me, you dopey bugger! Look back!
Okay, drink whenever any situation could be solved if Captain America just had his mighty shield.
True. So, I mean, you know Captain America better than me. What does the Mighty Shield do?
You can throw it and it can spin and hit people.
So
and
it would
stuff.
just help him win battles.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a good fighter. He fought his way to the end.
He was, but then if you compare him to anything Captain America, he's
True,
up
okay.
there. But, follow-up question, how the hell does Chris Evans in this film, his character, stay in that shape?
That's a good point, yeah.
What's he eating that's going to stay in that shape and nobody else is? And also, where's he getting his exercise?
Cockroaches, lots of protein. Maybe he's just doing a lot more running around, I don't know.
Where's he running?
True. I mean, yeah,
Where's
everyone
the
else,
space?
everyone else is, like, emaciated and he is, like, you know, Chris Evans. True. Yeah, he's the only one, but, yeah. Who knows? Maybe he's a double agent. Maybe he's got secret access to the gym, who knows?
Sure thing.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. My last one was just drink every time Tilda does something weird, which is just drink for Tilda, really.
It's pretty solid.
I mean, the best one for me is when she makes the shoe speech.
Yeah.
You are the shoe. We are the hat.
Yeah.
And then she balances the shoe on the guy's head.
Yeah.
Which I was thinking, how long must that have taken to shoot?
Yeah.
How many times did that shoe fall off that guy's head? And it stays there for ages because there's the scene where she's giving the whole speech.
Like he's moving around and
Yeah, and
everything.
he just there's occasional just close-ups of him just with his arm out the thing freezing off, and he's got this weird demented grin on his face. He's got a shoe balancing on his head, which is insane. Loved it.
Yeah.
Would you wear a shoe on your head? Of course you wouldn't wear a shoe on your head. A shoe doesn't belong on your head. A shoe belongs on your foot. A hat belongs on your head. I am a hat. You are a shoe. I belong on the head. You belong on the foot. Yes, so it is.
So, before we get to some sequels, let's take a quick moment to talk about Patreon.
Yes, which we've just launched on.
So, we are now available on Patreon, which means that you can support us for as much as or as little as you like. It's a monthly subscription fee.
But we're doing it as pay as you feel, so no matter what you pay, you get everything.
You get access to all of our bonus content, and we're trying to create loads of really cool exclusive content just for our Patreon supporters, which includes our weekly bonus show, Beyond the Box Set, which is going to be our movie review show. We do quick fire movie reviews every week of the films we've seen in the cinema, so that's more up-to-date stuff than what we normally do here. We also, if you have a podcast or a business or just a personal brand, you want us to advertise you, every once a month we'll do our Patreon special episode in which we will give you a 30-second ad slot in which you can either send us a recording of an ad we will play, or we'll just rave about you for 30 seconds. And also, once a month, one of our Patreon supporters gets to choose the film that we'll do on this podcast, Beyond the Box Set. And obviously we'll do our sequel ideas, etc. You can choose the film. And finally, if you would like to send us some details about yourself, we will make you a character in one of our sequels.
Yeah.
So they're the main benefits. We may add more. Just go to patreon.com/Beyond the Box Set.
Yep.
Cool. And please consider sponsoring us. It helps us to stay cost neutral, and we will love you forever. Yeah. And it helps us to make a better show. It inspires us to make a better show. We have merch on TeePublic, including t-shirts, hoodies, iPhone covers.
Yeah, iPhone covers, cushions, mugs.
Yeah.
Anything you can think of.
All the Beyond the Box Set crap you need.
Yeah.
Make your entire flat a shrine to us.
Yeah, we've got a few little catchphrases written up in t-shirts now.
Yeah. And if there's any more you'd like, then let us know. We'll make it happen. Yeah.
Pass me a baby.
Pass me a baby. That's the one now, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But yeah, so as always, thank you very much to everyone who listens and supports us. We really appreciate it. And if you want to support us more, if you're not already, then head over to patreon.com/Beyond the Box Set. Link is on our website, beyondtheboxset.com. So, okay, that's enough self-flogging. Sequels.
Yes.
You first this week?
Oh,
I chose the film. That was a really sad. Oh.
I don't know. I don't like going first.
Okay.
Okay, so mine. I've not really come up with a title, so if you could help me out with that
Sure.
when it comes along. It's 2012.
Okay. The past. When was this film set?
I don't know. The IMDb says the future.
Okay.
Generic.
Unclear,
The future,
fine.
yeah.
So this film is a prequel?
Kind of sidequel. Let's call it a sidequel.
A sidequel, okay, sure.
So it's 2012. The end of the world is coming on December 21st. Do you remember when that happened?
Oh yeah, I
When the
remember the
world
end of the
ended?
world. It was that was quite the evening, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. We were all looking forward to it.
Yeah.
The minds predicted it. And it came.
Great.
We're all dead now.
And this is purgatory, just podcasting.
So tickets are now being sold to a train known as Snowpiercer. It is the underailable train which people can live on indefinitely. It's one of many supposed arcs for humanity, but the one with the best chance of survival.
Okay.
It departs from Southampton, England, on
Sure.
December 20th at midday, approximately 12 hours before temperatures become too cold to live in.
Right, okay.
Stop me when you work out what I'm doing here. We open at the train station where there are people getting on this grand train. A very fancy car pulls up as people start getting out of it. First up, we get Meryl Streep,
Okay.
of course, followed by Harry Styles.
Okay.
Picked him just because he was so good in Dunkirk. His character kind of fits here.
Okay.
Harry reaches into the car and takes the hand of a lady presumed to be his wife. His music swells. A young lady steps out of the car wearing a giant hat.
Okay. Is it too early to ruin it? Because obviously I know what's
Go
happening.
right ahead.
It's Titanic.
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. The hat was a giveaway.
Yes, I thought it would be. I thought that's where you'd get it.
Yeah.
She lifts her head and we see, of course, Alison Brie
Okay. I can see that.
looking across the train, which will take them into the new world.
Oh, nice. Okay. So these are the upper class, like the first class passengers.
Clearly, yeah.
Cool. This is Billy Zane and Kate Winslet and the mother who... Yeah.
Whoever she was.
Cool,
So,
okay.
Of course, Meryl Streep and Harry Styles as those two.
You know, that kind of works.
Yeah,
I think that works really well.
it's not awful, is it?
No, I think that's pretty good.
Is that Alison Brie is Kate Winslet?
Yeah, I think those are all very solid, believable casting choices.
Great.
Now
thank
that
you.
we've had Harry Styles play kind of a villain in Dunkirk, but not really, like more like just a, I'd like to see him go full villain.
Well, he's not really full villain in this. He's just a dickhead
True, that's fair, yeah.
in Titanic.
In Titanic, fair enough. Continue anyway, let's see where this is going.
They board the train near the front, handing out first class tickets to the conductor.
Sure.
And we then cut to a small bar at the station.
Yeah.
There are a group of young men playing an energetic game of poker. We centre on 2 people in this game, mainly an extremely charismatic Danny Pudi.
Oh, okay. Is he our Leo?
He's going to be our Leo.
Interesting.
I was thinking somebody who's got a lot of charisma, works well with Alison Brie.
Ooh, yes. Oh, I see, because they've love interests in Community.
Yeah,
Okay, I like it. I'm on board.
I think that fits well. And a slightly quiet sidekick, played by... It's Donald Glover. Come on.
Oh, Donald Glover. Oh, sorry.
Who plays Abbott's best friend Troy in
Sure.
Community.
Okay, great.
Donald Glover has taken the part of whatever his name was.
Fabrizio?
Yeah.
Is he playing a broad Italian stereotype, despite clearly not being Italian?
No, I was going to say broad African stereotype. Doesn't speak much English. Strong African accent.
Okay, sure. It'd be funny if he was just Italian. Like,
Make
just
him Italian- make him
just
Italian
imagine
if you
Donald
want.
Glover just doing that, like, "Hey, Mario!"
Tell you what, yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. That's funner.
Yeah.
He's not got a big part in this, so we can do
Okay,
anything.
fine, yeah.
Some expository dialogue tells us that these people are some of the engineers who built the train,
Sure.
so they know all about it. The 2 of them win their game, and by winning that, they get 2 tickets to the second class part of the train.
So they're the engineers who built it, but they're not allowed on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's similar to how some of Titanic worked.
I guess that's true, yeah. Okay.
Built by a lot of Irish who...
Oh, do you mean like labourers, not like engineers?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay, sure. I understand.
They immediately run off to catch the train because it's 11:58, leaves in 2 minutes.
Sure.
So they run and they catch it just before it departs. Like, they're literally the last people on the train.
Okay.
I mean, not like Titanic, they're not going to jump onto it as it's moving.
No?
It's not really how trains work, even in 2012.
Well, sometimes when they set off, they're a bit, you can probably just about make it.
Yeah, the doors are all closed though, aren't they?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
You could not run from many trains.
No, not really.
So that night, Alison Brie, who I'm now going to refer to as Rose,
Okay.
is feeling particularly down because... What's Harry Styles' character's name? What Billy Zane's character's name?
Well, Billy Zane's character in Titanic was called Cal.
Cal.
Calden Hockley. So Cal, yeah.
Okay, so that night, Rose is feeling particularly down because Cal is being a massive dick to her,
Sure.
and she feels trapped.
Okay. Cal being the Harry Styles character. Cool.
She tries to kill herself by opening a door to the now uninhabitable environment outside.
Oh, she'll be chilly.
Well, she'd die.
Yeah.
At the last minute, Jack comes up and just sort of, well, not really bumps into her, but comes across her when she's obviously trying to open the door and kill herself. He talks her out of it by saying like how horrible it's going to be outside and how painful it
That
would
does
be.
fit really well. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't it? And he does manage to change her mind. And as she turns away from the door, her clothes catch on a handle, opening it,
Sure.
and she gets sucked out. Jack just manages to catch her hand at the last minute, pulls her in, ripping her clothes in the process, and somehow he lands on top of her,
Sure.
and they have a little moment.
Sure.
At that exact moment, Cal walks in to whatever carriage they're in and just sees them like this. It looks like Jack's having his way with her.
Sure.
So, yeah, Jack rips him off and punches him or something. The guards come in and Jack says, "Arrest that man, he was having his way with my wife."
You mean Cal says
Oh,
that?
sorry, yeah. To which they do, and then Rose shouts, "This man just saved my life. If it wasn't for him, I would be dead now. Do you really want to arrest him?" So he lets him go, begrudgingly, like,
Sure.
still not happy.
Is anyone playing Cal's kind of butler / bodyguard who's kind of the other villain in Titanic?
Oh, could be. Who'd he cast?
Who do you say Cal was again?
Harry
Styles.
Styles.
Oh, it's got to be like Louis Tomlinson then or something. another One Directioner. Niall, the Irish one. He'd be funny in that.
Sure, all right.
Or maybe Simon Cowell. Yeah.
Much better. Much
Simon
better.
Cowell.
Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're talking. So Cal then begrudgingly asks him, "Would you like to come to dinner with us tomorrow evening
In first class.
in first class?"
Okay.
To which Jack's like, "Oh yeah, great. That'd be fun."
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jack goes back to second class, which is less of a big divide in this than it is in actual Snowpiercer.
Okay. So maybe
There's-
that's happened over time.
Yeah, I would say. So there's not armed guards saying you can't leave second class,
Sure. Okay.
but just you shouldn't.
Right.
Whatever, I don't know. Yeah, so the next day, Jack's hanging about in, maybe let's call it a communal area where first and second class can both go.
Okay.
And he bumps into Meryl Streep,
Okay.
which is whatever her mum's called.
I can't remember. I don't think it matters.
And, well, I'm merging a lot of characters here.
Oh, is she going to be also be Kathy Bates?
Yeah, Meryl's just playing everyone now.
Okay, right. Well, she's got range. Do different voices.
And so she gets him a suit.
Okay.
She tells him how to eat dinner properly, like proper manners and everything. And she really educates him through the day how to be a first-class gentleman.
Great.
And so he comes to dinner.
Okay.
Where, well, Rose is obviously sitting next to Cal, but he's not paying her any attention. Rose is just looking at Jack, and Jack is charming everybody. He's doing a really good job. Rose is completely taken with him. She's staring at him longingly, getting a little bit footsie under the table. I don't know if that happened in Titanic, but whatever.
I don't think so, but sure. Yeah.
It's 2012.
Yes.
It's the modern day. You can do whatever you want.
Oh, yeah, no, fine. Footsie's always fun.
By the way, I picked this year because it's also 100 years after Titanic.
Ah, you've really thought this through.
Fits well for two reasons.
See, you acted like you were doing this 5 minutes before the episode, but clearly you've thought about this.
I mean, that's not to say that I'm not doing it 5 minutes before the episode. It's 5 minutes of golden thinking time.
Fair enough.
So when the meal comes to an end, all the men decide to go for port and cigars.
Port and cigars, yeah.
Is that what they had?
Yeah, I think so. It sounded like you were saying porn and cigars, which is a very different scene. But yeah,
Well, it's 2012, they can do either.
maybe that's what they're doing. Yeah.
But Jack excuses himself and says that he really must be getting back while winking at Rose.
Sure.
So him and Rose subtly make their way towards the back of the train, where Jack promises she'll have a proper good time.
Okay.
So they're dancing, they're drinking, they're making a mess of things, exactly the same as happened in Titanic, really. And then when things really start to heat up between them, Rose tells Jack that she knows a good place. So they go to the middle of the train where they find one of the steam carriages.
Oh, okay.
They go into a little compartment, they have sex, make handprints on the window. Once they're done with that, and they're just holding each other or something, suddenly they hear the sound of a lot of gunshots.
Okay.
Jack pokes his head out of the little compartment and sees Chris Evans and Octavia Spencer and two other people all shooting guns at some bad guys.
Oh, so it's intersected with the film. Like it, okay.
So just quietly closes the door, just like, I'm just going to let that happen.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the time frames completely messed up.
I know.
Because they've been on this train for 17 years. Unless they'd had an epic 17-year bonkathon. Like,
Well, let's say they did.
yeah, I'm so tired. But sure.
Yeah. So he closes the door, and they both stay very quiet until they don't hear any movement outside.
Okay.
And they've heard people dying or whatever. Jack sticks his hand out the door, and he sees a lot of dead bodies with bloody footprints leading towards the front of the train. So, okay, well, if they've gone that way, we're going to go that way.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So they start their journey to the very back of the train. As in Snowpiercer, they're going through all different and amazing carriages. Maybe there's an adventure or two along the way. Maybe there's not. I don't really care. Let's move on. So at one point when they're in a carriage that it has windows so they can see outside, they hear a massive bang and the whole train shakes. They're thrown across the carriage. Jack breaks his arm.
Oh, so this is when the explosion and the...
Yeah, they look out the window towards the front of the train. Now I'm doing this slightly differently to how the main film did.
Sure.
Look out the window towards the front of the train, because they're on a bit of a bend, and they can see the engine carriage has exploded and is essentially gone. Like, it's not there. So it's just a train without an engine.
Right.
The train is slowing down, but the track where the engine was is severely damaged and is the start of a bridge over a 500-foot drop.
Oh dear, okay.
So Jack, being the engineer that he is, or the layman, I don't know, says that the bridge, it might hold for now, but also it will probably break when the entire weight of the train's going to be on it, and at the speed we're going, the train is going to stop entirely on that bridge.
Right.
So we need to get off this train.
Sure.
So he decides that the only way to do that is to jump out one of the doors. Essentially how the film started, with them meeting.
Sure.
If they do it too soon, the train's still going to be going way too fast, so when they impact with the ground, they're going to hurt themselves too much. If they do it too late, they'll be too close to the bridge, they'll fall off the cliff to their deaths.
Okay.
So they need to jump off at just the right point, the sweet spot. So this is similar to how when the boat went under,
Yeah.
it's like, wait till the very end. Wait till the very end. Okay, jump on the thigh you now.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that.
Well, it sounds exciting. I like it. Are we seeing a lot of the other passengers like dying as well as we're doing it? It's like,
Yes.
Correct.
So they get to a door and see they're not the only ones who think of this. There is a panic in the air. People are getting trampled. One of the train guards is shooting people. Someone's throwing money around. I don't know. Some people have outdoor heated vests.
Okay.
One of the guards puts one on Rose, but doesn't have one for Jack.
Oh, it's just like the life jacket thing. Yeah, okay.
The rain is coming up, but the train still hasn't slowed down enough yet. Some people are jumping off now already, but it's all way too soon.
Right.
You see people jumping off and falling back into the train, getting caught under the wheels, and just like, it's horrible.
Bleak.
Yeah. Jack decides that when they jump, to make it a bit more safe for the landing, needs something to land on. So he gets the nearest thing that he can find. A broken door.
Okay. Oh, this isn't going to end well.
Okay, so now they're the only two people left.
Okay,
And they have about 30 seconds until they're going to go over the cliff.
sure.
Jack's telling her to jump and that he's going to hold on to the edge of the door with his good arm. He's only got the one arm now. Well, one arm's broken.
Sure.
So he's going to hold on and he won't let go. So she's using the door as a sledge, essentially.
No?
It's not big enough for Jack to fit on now.
No,
I
okay.
mean, maybe it is.
What a bitch. She wants leg room.
And they jump off, they skid on the ground, and they finish just at the edge of this ravine. They watch as the bridge collapses, as Jack predicted, and the train falls off just into this ravine that's so deep you can't see the bottom, it's dark.
Uh-huh.
And they finish sort of hanging over the edge. Jack is literally just hanging on for his life, like he's dangling off the edge of this thing.
Right.
And Rose is the only thing that's actually keeping the door from just falling off completely. And he says, if you move, we're going to die. The temperatures outside are probably, I don't know, minus 60 degrees or something. So Jack is dying of cold quite quickly.
Yeah. It's impressive he's managing to hold on.
Yeah. And Rose grabs his wrist and says, I won't let go. I won't let go. And
I somehow don't believe her.
Goes on for ages. And
Bit of Celine Dion in the background. Yeah.
maybe, yeah. Maybe there's a radio that fell off the train or something.
Sure. Classic hits 90s. Is just...
She keeps saying that she won't let go, but after a while she realises that she can't stay here forever and Jack's gone.
He's already dead, yeah.
So she does let go and she watches in slow motion as he falls into this ravine you can't see the bottom of, and he just fades into the black.
Oh, wow.
She gets up and walks away, clearly on the brink of death herself. Like she's in a heated vest, but like I say, it's pretty cold outside.
Yeah.
She passes out, and as we fade to black, we see the silhouette of someone walking towards her. And that's the end.
So is the silhouette the young couple? Like the young Korean girl and the boy? Or is it
Could be anybody. I just didn't really want to finish this with. They all die.
Oh, right, sure, yeah.
So...
Okay. I like that. That fits surprisingly well.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
I have some questions.
Okay.
So you're not doing the whole flashback thing with the old lady dropping it into the ocean at the end then, no?
I thought I'd make it too complicated.
Fair enough, yeah. And there's nothing else happens with Billy Zane / Harry Styles. There's no Heart of the Ocean thing.
Yeah, not really. I mean, there could be points where he could come in, like perhaps at the end when they're all about to jump off. Maybe he's one of the people who jumps off too soon or something.
Sure, yeah.
And have a bit of a physical tug of war over Rose or
Yeah.
something.
Maybe there could be a whole bit where when he gets Danny Pudi or Jack, whatever, when he gets Jack arrested and he's put in one of those little like compartments that the Korean guy was in,
yeah.
and she has to go and like break him out somehow. That could be an extra little scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, that would work well.
Yeah, but I don't know what the Heart of the Ocean would be in this. Like maybe a really good piece of sushi or something, or a really tasty baby. I don't know.
Ooh.
No. But I think on the whole that does really, really work very well. And yeah, maybe it just means that there are other survivors. I like the idea that like there's a whole other adventure going on while the main adventure's happening of the film that we've seen. And that's always fun when actually what's happening to other people on the train.
And also that there's more than just 2 people who survived the entire
True.
crash.
Yeah.
3.
There's not 3. Yeah. If those 2 women live long enough and that little kid gets to puberty, he's got options.
Okay.
As do they, but not to procreate. You know, for each other. You know. Cool. Liked it a lot.
Thank you.
So my turn. Cool. Okay. So I had an idea, and I thought it was great.
It sounds like you're about to say, and then I threw it out the window.
No, I didn't throw it out the window. You ruined it for me. Well, basically, I put it on social media that this was our next film, which I always do. And then I got to writing my idea. And then I was midway through it and I was really enjoying it. And then I looked at social media, looked at the responses to the tweet. And I saw several of our regular listeners saying, oh, I bet John does this. And I was like, fuck you.
Sure.
And this is your fault.
What have they done? What were you doing?
Well, obviously, because Ed Harris is in this film, I was going to make it a season 3 of The Truman Show.
Season 3 of The Truman
Or maybe like season 5 now.
Alright.
It works, though.
Yeah, sure. I guess it lends itself to
Yeah,
it.
but now everyone's like, oh, no, that's John's thing, because you always bring it up, so...
It does seem to be your thing. This will be, what, number 4?
Maybe. Well, consequently, I've got 3 small ideas, one of which is The Truman Show, but I didn't bother to flesh it out too much, so...
Okay, well, go. Hit me with The Truman Show.
Okay, so Truman Show idea is... Yeah, it's a sequel to The Truman Show.
Is the next one split?
No, it's not. There's no split in this one. Shut up. You ruined one thing. Basically, the reason for this is that Ed Harris plays, once again, the omniscient, kind of godlike, creator of this universe. So, let's say, obviously the first time of the Truman Show was the Truman Show, and then I revisited it, I think, and made it Hunger Games mixed with yeah, it was the Hunger Games because I did the Truman Show episode of our podcast, and we had the sequel, the Hunger Games, right?
Yeah.
What was the other time I did it?
Uh,
Oh, it was It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life, and then you did it the following week, I think it was, for The Shining.
That wasn't really the Truman Show. That was more of just another reality show.
All right, okay. I'll let you have that.
Don't make
sure.
that face at me.
You know it was The Truman Show.
Fine, this is the 5th time.
Yeah,
it
there
might
we
be
go.
the last time. But so let's say all of those shows have been and gone, and they've all got cancelled. And Ed Harris needs another good ratings grabber, another way to make this format pay off.
Mm-hmm.
So he decides his latest harebrained scheme is to really amp up the ratings, is to put a bunch of people on a train. And the subject of the Truman Show, obviously, the character who is unaware they're in a TV show, is the little Korean girl, the 17-year-old, because it's stated that she has only grown up on the train. All the other characters remember life before. She does not. Because there's a scene with Chris Evans when she asks him what Earth is like, etc. So she is our Truman. Everyone else is an actor. So Chris Evans, Octavia Spencer, Jamie Bell, John Hurt, all of them are acting, basically. So much like the film The Truman Show, you're going to see a lot of cutscenes of them as themselves. And I like the idea that Octavia Spencer is actually going to play herself in this.
Okay.
So she's going to be Octavia Spencer, who's taken on this role on this reality TV show and then regrets it, but she's under contract, so she's stuck with it. Like,
Sure, yeah.
I'm an Oscar winner, I'm stuck in this.
By the way, has she starred in any movies as the main character?
Octavia?
Yeah.
Well, she's often like
She's
a strong supporting role.
Yeah, like a really good side character. But has she ever been the main character in a film?
She must have done, but not a film that I've really seen, no. I think that's unfortunate,
Weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's not a lot of...
Because she's amazing, and she's always amazing and does really good roles. But she's never starred, as far as I know.
I would imagine it's probably because there's not that many starring roles in big Hollywood films for middle-aged African-American women, and all the good ones are going to Viola Davis. Mm-hmm. Who I know they're friends, but she was secretly hates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so she gets all the supporting prestige parts instead. But hopefully one day she's really good. Well,
You know, in that sequel you say they're making to Get Out, which links it to being John Malkovich.
yes.
I'd like to see her starring in that.
Yes, I'm on board.
Because then that brings in her tiny little cameo in being John Malkovich.
Love it.
Is Elevator Lady.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. Do it. Hollywood, Jordan Peele, do it. So anyway, initially this version of The Truman Show, in which they're all on a train, and it's this post-apocalyptic kind of scenario. And obviously the funny thing is it's not really going to be a train, because what's actually going to happen is it's going to be a set.
Sure.
So they just have to make it look like it's moving all the time, which I think has inherent comedy. So it does quite well initially, but it's hugely expensive to... No, actually, I've changed my mind. No, they are on a train. It is a real train. They've built a real train. So I forgot my own plot. It is a real train, but because of that, it's hugely expensive to produce. So after 17 years, they decide to cut costs by staging a revolution on the train, then killing off the entire cast, as that happens in the film.
Okay.
So, we're going to have a big finish. So I think there's going to be some funny scenes where the cast get told that they're getting killed off. Like Chris Evans and Octavia are really pissed off. That's always funny. But they have to go along with it because they're under contract. So yeah, obviously the events of the film happen, and the little girl is the young woman is the only character who's kind of aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
And then...
Wait, sorry, who are we talking about?
The Korean girl.
Okay, yeah.
Who's the Truman.
Yeah.
So, she gets to the end. Obviously there's a scene where the train blows up, the explosion, and Ed Harris says, "Nice." Because what he's actually doing is he's thinking about the ratings. And then when
because it's all sort of improvised, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They're all just improvised actors. So the thing's over, and it just becomes Survivor, that TV show Survivor. That's how they managed to put the ratings.
Okay.
So they're going to transfer it into another show, where now they've just put her into this Arctic wilderness, and the rest of the film's just them throwing all this kind of shit at her, unleash polar bears, and see how she survives in this fabricated wilderness.
I like it.
And that's all I've got for that, because
Okay.
I would have done more, but Twitter kind of broke my spirit. So yeah.
Well,
So that's idea number 1.
good work, guys. Twitter people, good work. Thanks for breaking John.
Yes. So that's idea 1 of 3.
Okay, so guesses for
Questions.
others. So, are you going to do Split?
I'm not doing Split. Let it go.
Okay, you're not doing Split, unless, as a twist, you are. Are you going to make something a musical?
No.
All right, I'll stop you if you've done something I've thought.
Okay.
Oh, Snakes on a Train. Were you going to do that?
No, I was not.
I'm not doing very well.
No, sorry. Well,
I'll do better next week in guessing your idea.
sure. You are getting better every week. Slowly chipping away at my creativity. So no, I've not done Make It a Musical. But I have done something I've never done before, but I've referenced a few times in this episode. Make it a video game. This film would be a good video game.
I should have seen that coming.
Yeah. So again, there's not much to this. But I was thinking It's going to be a video game where you can play any one of several playable characters. I think it would actually be really fun. You can play any of the main cast, and you're fighting your way through the characters. And each of the characters could have their own like individual strengths and weaknesses. Chris Evans' strengths are going to like hand-to-hand combat and leadership. His weaknesses are going to be every now and again he sits down and makes a really boring long speech about how sad he is.
Have you seen the new Jumanji film?
No, not yet.
It sounds a little similar to this actually, where you can play as a few characters and everybody's got their strengths and weaknesses, but they make them quite comedic. So firstly, to actually find out what your strengths and weaknesses are, you need to just press on your left nipple.
Sure.
And then suddenly you get this screen just pop up in the air that tells you all your strengths and weaknesses. One of Karen Gillan's strengths is dance fighting. And one of Kevin Hart's weaknesses is cake.
Great.
And there is a scene where he eats cake and explodes.
Oh, great. That sounds fun.
That's what happens.
I wish I'd seen that film. Okay. I was trying to think of funny strengths and weaknesses, but as we mentioned, like the characters aren't really very fleshed out. So it's hard to think of like what their weaknesses would be. So like, I had like Jamie Bell, strengths, lockpicking, weaknesses, peripheral vision. Because he gets his throat cut from behind.
Oh, sure, but I'd say more like strength, ballet.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, that's good. There we go. Yeah, great. So strengths, lockpicking, and dance fighting. He's a dance fighter, yeah.
Ballet fighting.
Yeah, ballet fighting. Perfect, yeah. Weakness, occasionally takes it too seriously, goes crazy, thinks he's a swan.
Yeah.
Octavia, strengths, stamina, leadership, weaknesses, baking shit into cakes.
Okay, yeah.
Which then
Solid.
impacts on other characters' weaknesses because of the cake.
Ah, yeah. Weaknesses, shitting in food.
Weaknesses, shitting in food, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that kind of thing. And I was thinking, in this video game, you have to constantly find protein blocks to restore your strength.
Oh, yeah.
However, in an emergency situation, you can eat a baby.
And that'll give you full health.
It'll give you full health immediately.
Protein bars will give you some health.
Yeah, the protein bars give you like a block of health. Eating a baby restores you instantly to full health, but it does give you a hit on your morality score. So your charisma goes a bit down when you've dined on a baby. And I just think like that you can imagine a lot of the different bosses you're going to fight, like that giant guy who's like, as we mentioned, was holding the massive axe and just swinging it randomly. There's the seemingly indestructible guy who stalks them from level to level. There's Tilda, obviously. Not that she's a fighter, but she's probably going to be one of our cutscene characters.
Yeah.
Someone you run into a lot. And yeah, so I think you just work your way through, like Final Fantasy, you use this little motley band of characters, you fight your way from carriage to carriage, you get to the end a big boss fight between Chris Evans and Wilfred, and then maybe there's a big explosion, and the last scene, you can play as the teenage girl, and you have to fight a polar bear. Good luck.
And then die.
And then, well, yeah,
And then
maybe it's an unwinnable battle. It's a lesson to learn for everyone, yeah.
And that's the end. Game over.
Yeah. So that was number 2.
Okay.
And my final idea, I'm going to ask you to pick your favourite of these. It's inspired by the film Parish Je t'aime, or also the Simpsons episode 22 short films about Springfield.
No,
Which
don't
is-
know either, sorry.
Sorry?
Don't know either, sorry.
It always amazes me how you don't know classic Simpsons. I know you're young, but like you think you'd watch them back. Like,
I've watched some of them back, but
okay. Well, the
I
idea
used
is
to watch some of them back in the day. Like, yeah, the one where Apu has his children.
yeah, that's not even that's a recent one for me. It's
Okay,
like
well-
15 years ago.
Okay, well, that's what I'm thinking of as classic.
Okay, great.
So,
Clearly we have.
There's
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
So you don't remember the episode of The Simpsons where they basically split it into 22 very short, like, one-act plays about all the different residents of Springfield?
nope.
Okay, it was maybe season 5 or 6. So basically, this idea is based on that, and it's or Parish Je t'aime. It's like a compilation film of short, like little mini plays, mini films about all the different characters on the train, because this train is so full of interesting, quirky characters that we don't really get to know very much. So like every one of them gets their own little plot line, basically.
So even some of the ones we just run past, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Just somebody having dinner in one of the first class
Yes,
carriages,
I
or
want to see it all.
some of the druggies in the.
Yeah. Well, I thought that one could be the teacher doing like a parents' evening, where all the parents are actually the ravers and the cyberpunks from the weird drugs.
This lends itself to a TV show rather than like 1 minute episodes.
Well, no, I like the idea that just very short vignettes. I think that's 2 or 3 minutes.
Sure.
It has been done. Like Parish Je t'aime is a famous film that did this. I know you've not seen it, but yeah, it's good. We should. It'd be a hard film to sequelize because it's just lots of little things, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the teacher on Parents' Evening, Jamie Bell is training for the revolution, but also he just secretly wants to dance. He's hiding his light under a bushel. Octavia's got she's baking cakes for all the underclass people, and oh, this tastes so good. Where are you getting your ingredients from? And she'll never tell. Yeah, you could have the sushi chef who's just like constantly practicing, but no one ever comes to eat it. So disappointing. The dentist, remember the dentist? There's a scene where they run past a dentist.
No.
He's just, randomly. Just a random shot that I enjoyed, just a dentist doing some dental work. Oh, Definitely one about Wilfred and John Hurt, Ed Harris and John Hurt, having like just funny phone conversations. Like,
Yes.
Just having a little chit chat.
Yeah.
Can you believe these guys?
We'd like to see some prank calls.
Yes. Yeah.
And then just one of the characters go, I know it's you.
Yes.
Who
Yeah.
else is it?
Yeah. Ed Harris is like Mo from The Simpsons. Ideal. Yeah. Prank calls. John Hurt doing prank calls to Ed Harris constantly. And Tilda. We're going to need a little film about Tilda. Maybe just about maybe just her learning how to balance a shoe on a person's head. Personally.
Yeah.
And maybe ends with one about a polar bear. Just a little cut scene of a polar bear. Just, I don't know, just maybe a little cartoon about how the polar bear survived. Or maybe the last one is a polar bear struggling like to feed its family, and it's being narrated. Oh yeah, okay. So the final one is a polar bear and its family. It's narrated by David Attenborough. It's Blue Planet style. It's like the polar bear is hunting over wilderness, trying to find anything to eat, but there is nothing. The polar bear is doomed. The polar bear is doomed. And then just at the end, the polar bear like climbs over a little hill and sees a small Korean girl and a little boy. They're saved. Dinner is served. Credits on.
Nice.
And then that's literally David Attenborough's voiceover. Dinner is served. And credits roll.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it ends with a Blue Planet episode. And yeah, and that was that. So 3 short and sweet ideas this week.
Yeah.
Which one would you prefer? Do you have any preference?
The video game, I think.
Yeah, I'd play that game. I'd play that game.
It'd be a good game.
Cool.
Who do you play as in that game, by the way? Do you play as Chris Evans?
You can play as any of the main characters. You can play as Chris, Octavia, Jamie Bell, the Korean guy, the Korean girl. They've all got their own thing. I know, I feel bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
It's like Final Fantasy, you can switch between. You have a posse.
Yeah, that works. I like it.
Great. Should we get some listener submissions?
Go on. Better add.
Okay, we had some good ones this week. I had a lot this week. This was sort of a popular choice.
Oh, really?
Over 80 people asked for this. So,
Great for a film I've never heard of.
I know it's definitely got a pop.
Sorry, 80.
Over 80, 80. Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm not going to read out 80. I've just pulled together some of my personal favourites.
All right.
So these are good like one-liners. So Diana Isaacson says the same movie but set in the Skytram that you use at airports.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Matt Hanley says the polar bear is the captain of the train now. I like the polar bear little hat, like just choo choo. Ollie Brady, the same movie but it's done much better and makes much more sense. So not a fan. Agree to disagree, Ollie. Courtney Coulson.
No, I agree with Ollie on there.
Okay. Courtney Coulson, I like this one. It set it on a submarine. Same film set on a submarine. That's fun.
Okay. I need to give that some thought.
Bit of underwater action.
I like it. Would it be a series of submarines?
No, maybe just one submarine. Yeah. Just different levels. You're working up and down rather than left to right.
Yep, that's got legs.
Okay. Similarly, Craig Martin says around the world in 80 ways. And basically, they're just constantly using different vehicles and can never stop. So you go from train to plane to automobile.
Okay.
He says, get me Jackie Chan in a hot air balloon, stat. Dan Chapman just responded in all capital letters with exclamation marks, space train. So I guess, yeah, the train's in space now. Sure.
Yeah, makes it a more habitable environment.
Yeah. Oh, this is one of my favourites. This is obviously a sequel. Justin Kalman said, Jacket Seekers. And the subtitle is, it was better when we lived indoors, Piercer. Philip Brown says, Winterlight Express. It's a shot-for-shot remake of the original film, except everyone's wearing roller skates. Like Starlight Express musical.
Yeah, okay.
Walt Williams, now you predicted this, but I didn't come up with it, but he did. Snakes on a Snowpiercer.
Okay.
Walt Williams also said, you probably don't get this reference, but Throw Mama from the Snowpiercer. There's a film called Throw Mama from the Train. Okay. It's very funny. We'll do it one day. False Starts Podcast, at False Starts Pod. The Polar Snowpiercer. Chris Evans and co. are trying to reach the engine and take control of the train from an evil mocap shape-shifting Tom Hanks. Their aim to drive to the North Pole and meet Santa so they can wish for more babies to eat.
Wow.
Yeah. The Contrarians Podcast, at Ovnio, OVNIO. Open bracket John, close bracket Snowpierced. John Snowpierced. John Snow, pierced.
Of course.
So the survivors of the original movie find themselves caught beyond the wall, caught in the conflict between the wildlings and the Night's Watch. More babies are eaten in the search for the next train or dragon out. Our Twitter fans love the baby eating angle.
Yeah.
Facebook not so much, but Twitter, yeah. And finally, Blokebusters did Dune Piercer. It's exactly the same movie, but it's set in the desert. So, yeah, maybe instead of a polar bear, it's a camel.
Nice. Makes
Like
sense.
it.
Yeah.
It's super hot instead of super cold. So they stick their arms out and it gets like burnt to a crisp. That has legs, it could work. Actual global warming.
Yeah, that does work.
And those are all our sequels this week.
Good one.
Yeah, thanks. Nice work, guys.
Very good episode.
So, yeah, if you have any sequel ideas for Snowpiercer or any films we've done in the past, let us know. We are Beyond the Box Set. You can find us at beyondtheboxset.com. Our podcast is available on all good podcasting platforms, including iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Podbean. And more, and many more. Most of them. If there's one you can't find us on, let us know. We'll do our best to get onto it. You can also contact us via our social media channels. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and many more. Just search Beyond the Box Set. As we discussed, we are on Patreon. If you'd like to get access to all kinds of exclusive bonus content, you can go to patreon.com/Beyond the Box Set and sponsor us for as much or as little as you like to get access to all of our exclusive content. Doesn't matter how much you pay, you get the same content. So go right ahead, knock yourselves out. And we have special merch available on tpublic/Beyond the Box Set. And next week, another guest episode. Yes, again. Yes, another guest.
Guess we got popular now.
We did, yeah. We're victims of our own success. So we're going to be joined by our good friend Louise Ball, who has chosen to do Garden State.
Crikey.
That pregnant pause said it all. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, looking forward to next week discussing Garden State. So,
all right, it's good to finally get Louise on.
It is. It's been a long time coming. She's been a long-time supporter.
Has she, though?
Well, she's been a vocal supporter.
I'm just kidding, Louise.
We love you. So, yeah, join in next week for Garden State.
You're going to say Snowpiercer.
I was going to say Snowpiercer, yeah. I've been promising it for so long. Join us next week for Garden State.
Yeah,
Thanks
lovely.
a lot, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.